Oh, anyway, somebody sent me this though. It's called The Insane True Story of Joji. Now, me personally, I didn't grow up with filthy Frankfurter. Not really something I was ever into. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I just wasn't really on YouTube then. But what I will say though is I heard some of his music on the radio. So that's cool. Good for him. So let's watch.
Of the most beautiful voices of Joji has one of the most beautiful voices
It's not
of any
that
pop
bad.
singer around today. But even more than that, his style, his inspirations, his visuals, and songwriting are all unique.
Is it?
He's a huge breath of fresh air.
Oh, well, based on that, I don't know if I would agree with that. But I also haven't heard enough of his stuff. I heard like a little bit of a song. I forget what the song was, but it was pretty good. So I can't, I don't know if he's necessarily an inspiration, like a revelation. But then again, we're not seeing like anybody like that anymore. You notice that there's no real people so much anymore. I don't know. It feels like we don't have as many big movie stars anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Everybody's like a TikToker nowadays.
In today's overwhelmingly commercial music industry, the way he mixes
Maybe that's what
melancholy
it is.
melodies with edgy, even disturbed
Tyler, the Creator, he's a legend. But I don't think people have appreciation for people anymore. I think that they have appreciation for trends. And so like a lot of the music you hear on the internet is just TikTok trends.
lyrics has elevated him to be a highly successful artist. There's a reason why he's made some of the biggest songs in the last 5 years, despite having a pretty minimal social media presence. But where does he come from, and what makes Joji's music
Has
so
he really had like some of the biggest music?
special? If you're interested in more of my creations, I just launched a series of pendants that I
That's cool. I got a mustache hair in my mouth, so I'm going to choke on it and die.
designed from scratch. Each necklace is made of full 925 sterling silver with enamel paint in the design of a sun rising over a night full of silver stars.
Okay, cool.
To me, the necklaces serve as a reminder that whoever you are and whatever your goal is, whether it's business, content creation, school,
I'm going to skip past this, but that is cool. So, obviously the link will be in the bio if you want to buy that.
in late December, years of his life. And that necklace, go to Volksgeist.store.
Okay.
Joji grew up in Japan for the first 18 years of his life, and that experience is a big part of what inspires his musical style. When he talks about living in Japan for his whole childhood, he says that the environment he grew up in remains one of his biggest inspirations for music. He grew up in Osaka, a coastal city surrounded by mountains, and he says that as a kid he would play around water all the time, running through rice fields with his friends, catching frogs, and building an appreciation for quiet, peaceful things. And I think you can hear that sense of calm, idyllic atmosphere in a lot of Joji's music. Even when the songs are sad, they often feel ethereal and peaceful.
Sounds like something you'd hear on like Crowder. Like Chowder. I didn't say Crowder, I said Chowder.
When Joji talks about his early experiences with making music, even though he would eventually become most well known for his singing, production and instrumentation were really important to him early on. Because a lot of people don't know that Joji produces most of his own music, including some of his all-time biggest hits like Slow Dancing in the Dark. Anyway, back as a teenager, Joji
I guess I'll have to listen to these off stream or something so I know what we're talking about.
tried to learn almost every instrument, everything from ukuleles to piano to guitar and drums.
That's cool.
And while he says he didn't master any of them, learning all of these basics gave him a really good foundation for learning how to make music later on. When he was in Japan, Joji also learned how to use GarageBand, which would go on to become an extremely important part of his creative process even to this day, as he was able to maximize its features to create a complex sound with a pretty minimal set of tools. Joji moved to the United States when he was 18 to go to college in New York City, and it was only a few years after that that he got involved in the online lo-fi hip-hop scene. If you don't know a lot about the
I know about lo-fi. I know about the YouTube channel. That's all I know about it. That's it.
lo-fi hip-hop scene, I would say it's really not all that bad, but it was full of a lot of generic and uninspired stuff that ended up giving the genre a kind of bad reputation. Lo-fi music was music for people who wear beanies and Vans and hipster glasses and have shitty beards.
Yeah, true. Hey, that's not me. That is true though. But that's becoming popular now. We used to make fun of people like that. Now we praise those people. It's starting to bleed into the culture. You know who else we really need to make fun of? People who wear like those those hats, like those like caps, like a European cap, like from Peaky Blinders. We need to make fun of those people more, because like the show is awesome, but like it's a period piece. Like you don't live in that's time. Like stop. You're embarrassing yourself. Like, holy fuck. People who get, like, Viking haircuts, too, stop. Please, okay? I get that you like the show Vikings, but stop. It's embarrassing, okay? You're embarrassing your family. It's terrible, okay? It's like, but how, it's terrible. Stop doing it, all right?
In reality, though, lo-fi hip-hop tends to not be very melodically adventurous, sonically interesting, or all that meaningful in general. There is some really good lo-fi hip-hop, but it's mostly always been background music. But the music Joji made during his lo-fi producer era might actually be some of the best lo-fi hip-hop I've ever heard.
That's personally not my flavor.
There are songs like Medicine and Tom that just feel incredibly nostalgic with smooth, beautiful production. Honestly, the only bad part of the song Tom from 20...
Yeah, maybe Flat Caps. Maybe that's what it's called. Oh, you live in that time, I just don't. Fair enough. Because I used to wear like a beret for the Boy Scouts, 'cause I'm an Eagle Scout. It was one of the part of the uniform, and everybody would make fun of me. So it's like, can please keep making fun of people for it? Like, come on, it's ridiculous.
15 is the
Also, though, I have a fat head, so it didn't quite fit. But that's not why they were making fun of me. Okay, so stop.
little hip-hop rapping Pink Guy style verse that he added in before bursting into an airy falsetto halfway through the song.
As far as we go, and as far as we go,
sounds nice.
and how little we know.
It's just for me, like, I don't know if it's really on my brand for music. I just, I don't know. That's the problem that I have. You know, my brand is a little bit different. It's more like this is what I like, dude. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, dude. So that's a little more, in my opinion, that's a little bit better. But you know, that's just my. I can't believe that music is licensed. This is like license-free music. It's funny to me.
And how little we know.
You can really hear his talent in these early songs, but at the same time, he was still figuring out his delivery and production, and it's easy to see why people still love this work from very, very early in his process, both because it's pretty good, and it also definitely has some nostalgia too. The thing is, at the same time Joji was blowing up as an artist, he was also one of the most popular YouTubers in the world, and he had been for years.
How is this
the
bracelet
comedy channel
getting
featuring a number of different
stronger?
personas played by Joji himself, including Filthy Frank and Pink Guy. The videos featured offensive comedy songs, extreme shock humor, and a wide range of some of the most disgusting moments in internet history.
Nice.
Joji created the Harlem Shake meme, he made videos like Pimp My Wheelchair.
Did he really? Wow.
Hair Cake, the Shut the Fuck Up song, a song called Kill Yourself. All of it was insanely popular, but it's probably not something he could get away with anymore. I think at a certain point, Joji decided
Yeah, he might struggle with that a little bit. I don't know if people will really enjoy videos talking about taking your own life. It's a little dated.
that's not how he wanted his lasting legacy to look.
Dude, what? How
Even
are
though a
you
lot of people
destroying
loved
these
Filthy
things?
Frank and Pink Guy and the comedy rap mixtapes, he felt like he had more to offer as an artist and wanted to move into a new medium. When Joji finally quit working on the Filthy Frank and Pink Guy videos and songs, he talked about how he had no choice but to move on from those projects because of the stress it was causing him. Having to film all the time and being so much in the public eye was causing legitimate health issues.
That makes sense. It can be a little stressful being in the public eye. I get that.
But just a month after quitting Filthy Frank forever,
Especially when you're doing like provocative content.
Joji announced the first ever official Joji project, In Tongues. And to me personally, In Tongues is a truly iconic piece of music. Even though it isn't as well produced as the projects Joji would create later, even though the vocals are raw and rough, there's something deeply inspiring about the way Joji was able to completely leave behind his old persona and dive into a new identity. In Tongues has such a powerful, personal, devastating sound that it allowed Joji to leave behind who he had been before and become a whole new artist in a way that would change his life forever. In Tongues is a masterpiece in many ways, and I think a huge part of its success was the fact that Joji created a strong visual look for the project because it came out during a time when the phrase YouTuber music was most strongly associated with something like this.
YouTuber music. What was that girl's name who decided to like destroy your whole platform and just start putting music on it? And, like, she thought everybody would love her. I forgot what that was, but that was crazy. Oh, is that Rice Gum? All right, we're listening to too much of their music.
It was only a few months before Joji dropped Will He and Demons that Jake Paul and Rice Gum were making piles of money, making some of the worst songs of all time. And
Hey, listen, kids love garbage, so that's what it is.
it was clear that Joji was going to have to
Gabby Hanna, that's another one, but that's not who I was talking about. I was talking about somebody else. It's like younger. I think her name was like Laurel or something.
put in a lot of work to avoid being lumped in with every other YouTuber making shitty music for a quick bag. And I think the visuals Joji came up
Quick
with for
bag.
In Tongues helped a lot with him being taken seriously instead of people just discounting him as making sad emo music for attention on the internet. So when Will He popped up with that visual of Joji laying in a bathtub full of blood,
Oh, what
With
the
a dark
fuck,
vintage-
dude? Just like the one movie, the one show. What was it called on Netflix? 13 Reasons Why.
look, and the Demons music video, which was strange, bordering on disturbing, with a monster chained to the bottom of an empty swimming pool. It wasn't just well produced, but it was mysterious, strange, and kind of disturbing. It didn't feel like a...
Was it? I wouldn't doubt it. Or does this guy just really appreciate the art of music, and he's saying that these things are true? Well, I don't know. I wonder.
YouTuber transitioning to a half-hearted, overly corporate music career. It felt weird, unexpected, and totally new. The In Tongues EP as a whole is full of some amazing songs that all kind of follow a common sound. Will He is a sorrowful track with soft, heartbroken piano melodies. World Star Money has a nostalgic ukulele with...
So I've never heard of the words that he's taught. Ukulele? I've never heard that word before. He's using such big music terms.
one of Joji's all-time most vulnerable performances as he reaches one of the most comfortable sounding falsettos of his career to that point.
Like, what is a falsetto? Like a false sense of security? Like, what is that? All right, this song's starting to grow on me, to be honest with you.
I think some of the songs on this EP aren't so great. Maybe these days they sound a little bit too 2017, a little bit too much lo-fi beats and not enough memorable melodies. But
well, if he made them in 2017, then that would make sense why it sounds like it's 2017.
They all have this kind of heavy feeling of oppressive heartbreak that would go on to become one of the trademarks of Joji's style. And In Tongues ended up being a streaming monster over the next few years, even though it wasn't huge on the charts. There are songs on here with hundreds of millions of streams, and Joji was quickly becoming considered a full-on legitimate musical artist.
Hey, good for him. That's crazy. It's interesting to see that because, like, he doesn't really advertise it or promote it on his platform, does he? I've never seen it before. In fact, nobody from YouTube I've ever seen really talks about it, and considering he seems to be rather successful, it suggests to me that it doesn't resonate with his old audience that much, and he's just trying to build a new audience that appreciates his music, which there's going to be some crossover, but there's not going to be a massive amount because he made content mostly for like young, edgy kids, that's okay. That's okay that he did that. I'm not telling you that he needs to fucking die. Okay, relax. But that's probably not going to be the people who are into his content.
Not just a YouTuber making music. And since he was able to do that, it was becoming clear that if he could find new fans who had no idea he had ever been a YouTuber in the first place, then the sky would be the limit. Ballads 1, the first of Joji's 3 studio albums, came out just 11 months after In Tongues, and in my opinion, it's pretty much a masterpiece. Even though Ballads 1 is Joji's first studio...
All right, if you said something is pretty much a masterpiece, then it's not a masterpiece, okay? You're insulting what it means to be a masterpiece. Okay.
Studio album, it includes what might be the most successful song he's ever made. Slow Dancing in the Dark went 5 times platinum, and it proved for the first time that Joji could have massive star power and go far, far above and beyond the memes and jokes that made him popular in the first place. I think I would describe Ballads 1 as a more polished example of what made the emotional melodic SoundCloud scene so good back in the day.
What a scary face he's putting on right now. All I could focus on.
With a trippy red feature and a wide range of producers collaborating with Joji from Clams Casino to Shlomo, it feels like a genuine tribute to the lo-fi, low-budget sound of that era. And it's also aged a lot better than some projects from that time have.
Unironically, I think I might check out his stuff after after watching this video. It's actually pretty good. It's kind of growing on me. It's chilling. It's vibing. I'm vibing on it.
At the same time, the song structure, melodies, and hooks and lyrics were so catchy that the album ended up being hugely commercially successful, despite having a radically minimal sound. While you can pretty much hear that Joji produced most of the project himself on GarageBand, it still features some really amazing deep production on songs like Attention, Come Through, R.I.P., and I'll See You in 40. There's a lot of really powerful emotion on here, but I still think it falls short and that you can hear Joji was really still learning how to sing and make tracks stand out. The best song structures and vocals of Joji's career were yet to come, and I think there are some duds on this project. If you look through the aesthetics...
Hey, listen, that's just going to happen. You know what I mean? You're always going to have a dud, you know? We need to normalize people failing, by the way. You know what I mean? Like, you don't always have to put out the #1 best thing in the entire world. You could have a bad time. That's okay. It's okay.
And actually ask yourself how many of these tracks are memorable. There are some that just don't stick with you. But at the same time, this was a really successful project with billions of streams.
I'm so powerful right
Joji a household name as a pop singer, with Slow Dancing in the Dark being ridiculously popular when it came out. And of course, the album was accompanied by some amazing music videos, including the Slow Dancing in the Dark video, which has 350 million views and features a heartbroken Joji wandering through the street with goat legs and a tuxedo, continuing the tradition of Joji having incredible visuals on his albums. Joji's second album, Nectar, was an upgrade in every way. The whole record sounds bigger and better, and from the very opening moment of the intro track, Ew, the cinematic crescendos and strings in Joji's falsetto.
Crescendo? What is this crescendo, bro? These words are crazy. So I literally... I'm struggling with basic fucking words right now that people learned in high school. Like, this is the pinnacle of my existence right now. Okay? That's my life. All right?
Just blow you.
It's funny because my cousin's a music major.
You away with how much better they sound than ever before.
And
the next song, Modus, feels the same way. Joji.
This is what happens. You just get brain rot when you become a YouTuber.
He really set a new tone on this album with the immense instrumental beauty of most of these songs.
Speed it up, slow it down, need control, need it now, I need to live.
Tracks such as Like You Do, Sanctuary, Run, Gimme Love, Daylight, a lot of this album is absolutely iconic. This record also feels much less emo than his previous work. It's more poppy and more commercial, while also having some beautiful piano production and a lot of ballads. And yeah, there are some songs on Nectar that I don't like that much. The songs that I do like, I absolutely love. Joji developed such an ability for making songs that tug at your heart that the tracklist on Spotify literally looks like a greatest hits album.
Sorry, this is a little off topic, but I was just thinking. I think people be giving me shit because I said that the Velma show is not that bad. I finally figured out what it reminds me of. It reminds me of the show Drawn Together, except not as raunchy. That's why I think I like it. It's just over the top, fucking like on the nose, fucking insane humor.
Are so many streams. Between Nectar and now, Joji became a living legend. He completely broke free of his old career and became a true pop star without giving up the feelings of raw sadness and morbidity that made his music so unique to begin with. I think Joji had always put that deep heartbreak and introspection into his music, and he wasn't about to give that up and sell out to get more popular. What he wanted to do was hone that craft and make the best heartbreaking, sad love songs he could possibly make. Songs such as Like You Do feel so real yet grand and
yeah, I mentioned before, I only listened to the Yoshi Story original soundtrack on repeat. Thank you. That's exactly what I fucking said. True. Very, thank you. So that's true.
large at the same time, and I think Nectar features a lot of Joji's best tracks.
Lately, I can't help but think that our roads might take us down different paths.
Smithereens is Joji's latest project, and it's definitely a distinct evolution compared to Nectar. Smithereens is barely over 20 minutes long, but its lead single Glimpse
20 minutes? That's it. Oh, okay, that's the whole album. I'm about to say, who makes a fucking 20-minute long song? That's nuts.
of Us surpassed Slow Dancing in the Dark to become yet another record-breaking song for Joji, charting at #1 in multiple countries and becoming the second ever song by a Japanese artist.
Oh, wait, was it a 20-minute song? Wait, I'm confused. That's crazy if that's true.
To chart in the top 10 in the United States with almost 1 billion streams in just 6 months. And you can hear exactly why it's so incredibly popular. Glimpse of Us is one of the most beautiful pop songs to come out in the last 5 years at least, and it's a breathtaking culmination of all the sounds Joji has been working on for years.
She'd take the world off my shoulders if it was ever hard to move.
Wow.
He's finally
Sounds a little bit like Josh Groban, to be honest with you. It's beautiful stuff.
created the perfect, sorrowful, heartbroken, sentimental ballad with the most tragic lyrics and the most painful delivery. Smithereens is full of minimal, spacey, piano-based production on songs like Die For You, 1AM Freestyle, and Dissolve. And when you listen to this record, you just can't help but recognize how incredibly skilled Joji has become since his debut. You can trace his progression through his releases and hear how his voice is just so much better than it used to be.
Who's that bald guy that hates Drake? Anthony Fantano. Okay. I'm supporting the Drake hate, but it is true. He does hate Drake. The reason I brought it up, though, is because, like, has Anthony Fantano talked about Joji before? I'm just genuinely curious.
In every way. And because of that, I think Smithereens has some more lo-fi electronic style songs that just aren't that remarkable compared to the mind-blowing quality of the ballads. So when I imagine what I think Joji should do next, my first thought is, wow, he should really work on a more dramatic, more sentimental album that's full of songs of the same quality as Glimpse of Us.
I would say you should try heroin, but, you know, we both have the same energy, but just kidding, don't do that.
That's how Joji would get an award nomination or a classic album. Because Glimpse of Us has almost 700 million streams on Spotify alone. His success seems almost unbelievable when you look at just how quiet his persona is. Because he's genuinely ridiculously famous. He's in the top 5 most streamed artists on Spotify, and he's
Really? Wow, that's actually crazy. I didn't think he was that popular. Wow, good for him. That's nuts. He's very successful. Good for him, man.
playing some of the biggest,
trying to
best
get this, I'll get
venues in the
2
world.
axes, maybe.
Madison Square Garden, Gunnersbury Park, venues with capacities of 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 people. Joji has made it. He started as a college kid making memes on YouTube, and he somehow ended up one of the most successful pop singers of his generation.
He's just like me.
He is one of the most successful
Why do you dislike Anthony Fantino? He's cool. What's wrong with him? Why don't you guys like him?
Asian musicians of all time when it comes to the Western market. Joji's success over the last 5 years has been incredible, and even more important than that, he never gave up on his vision. From the mysterious, enigmatic, unofficial Chloe Burbank music to his early Joji songs like I Don't Want to Waste My Time and Will He
What about this one? I don't want to wait for my life to be over. How about that song? That's a banger.
slowly become an iconic singer and producer without ever giving up the atmosphere of surreal heartbreak that veers between nightmarish and bittersweet nostalgia at the same time. And I really believe that 5, 10, or 20 years from now, when people have moved on, when this time in our lives becomes a distant memory, when you forget this video, when you forget this week and this month, and all you have left is
I'll never forget anything.
distant, hazy memories that become less clear as time passes, Joji will be one of the few artists whose music doesn't have an expiration date. He will be one of the few artists who could come on the radio and make you stop what you're doing to just listen and remember as the memories come flooding back through his ethereal melody.
Sorry, I'm so mature. I just keep hearing the word "come."
And to me, Joji's ultimate strength is the way he can channel the vulnerability of his vocals and lyrics, remind us deeply of the real human cost.
No, I don't know anything about Filthy Frank, bro. Okay, I'm an adult. I'm a grown man. I understand that you guys are little babies that know who Filthy Frank is. Okay, and I think that's totally fine. But I'm a grown ass fucking man, and if I knew who Filthy Frank was, that would be embarrassing. Okay, that would be weird because I'm a grown adult man. All right, you guys are to stop acting like that. Okay, stop acting like it's weird that a grown man doesn't know who this guy is. Okay. When you were on YouTube, I was working. Okay, I was playing Clash Royale. That's all I used to do on the phone.
Of time, things change, people leave, and
I didn't think I started watching YouTube until maybe early to mid 20s. I'm not even joking. I'm 32. You're 23. That's 10 years or something, almost 9, whatever. I didn't start watching YouTube till I was like 24 or 5 years old. I honestly think I was that old. Like, I got into it late. The first YouTube video I saw was Charlotte Takes a Tumble, and I thought that the person who showed it to me at the time, I thought it was their friend, because I didn't know what the fuck YouTube was. That's who I am. Okay?
nothing stays the same. But there's still beauty in loss, and in the pursuit of chasing a better future, even if you have to make deep sacrifices to find it, which in reality is what everyone has to do if we want to live fulfilling lives. That's why I feel like even though so many of Joji's songs seem to be about heartbreak, they can apply to so much more, like the universal experience of all people that our lives cannot be improved without first suffering through the change it takes to get there. This has been
sure. I mean, if you want to be all artsy fartsy about it, you could draw that meaning. But personally, I don't like to think that much when I'm listening to music. I listen to music to turn my brain off, not so I can overly fucking analyze it. I'm just being real with you.
I'm Philip.
My brain just doesn't stop. It's always thinking about stuff. It's actually a curse. It's frustrating sometimes. So I will listen to music so that like I just forget what's going on around me, because it's just too much. It gets fucking so overwhelming to just not stop thinking about things. I just constantly stress and worry about stuff that I don't need to fucking worry about all the time. Okay, and I've been trying to live by the philosophy that stressing about something, worrying about something, just makes you suffer twice. Okay, you want to know where I got that from? I got it from Harry Potter. Okay, so that's where I'm at in my life. How do you feel about that? All right.
Thank you for watching. And of course, don't forget that my brand new necklace, The Darkest Night and the Brightest Day, is now available at Volksgeist.store with free shipping in the US. And since you watched this far into the video, you can use the code Volksgang for $5 off. Thank you so much for your support.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.